Okay, so Kevin Warsh officially nominated to be the Fed chairman to replace Jerome Powell. In this video right here, I talked about who I thought he'd be one of the people to win, and pretty good video to watch, some of the breakdown of interview he had. Today in this video, I figure I go over the good, bad, and the ugly. Let's just be honest. Anybody who comes in here, they're gonna get just cremated when they go and have to get sworn in, and people are just gonna beat them up when they go to the House, Senate, all that stuff, right? Like it's just gonna happen. So just like both sides, anybody goes in there, they just basically want to crush each other and tell them how shitty they are, and they're not gonna do a good job. But I'm here as always because who cares about the politics? We're talking about interest rates, housing, getting your payment down, maybe a cash out refi those investment properties, cash flow. We don't really care about politics, do we, folks? We really don't care, because we know one thing is that all these politicians keep spending all of our money. That's why we're $38 trillion in the hole, why there's corruption, fraud, probably of $1 trillion a year. We all know this. We're not dumb. Everybody that I talk to, whoever you vote for, it doesn't matter. We all agree that there's so much waste, fraud, and abuse with our politicians, with the government. It's out of control. They don't have a plan to bring down the $38 trillion of debt that I see that's going to work. But we're here to talk about rates. We're here to talk about Kevin, Jerome Powell leaving. Did Jerome Powell do a good job or not? Honestly, folks, we really won't know until the future if he did a good job or not. Did he raise rates too high for most of us? Absolutely. Even people that like Elizabeth Warren, who cannot stand Trump, she agrees way too much, way too fast, and she wants those rates down. She wants the credit card rates down. She wants the housing rates down. She wants it all, folks. Go listen to all the interviews. I've showed her in clips and interviews. So I use Elizabeth Warren because she is extremist. She does not like Trump, but she's like, we need to get these rates down. She's all about affordability and things like that. Like I said, I'm here to talk about data, facts, and all this. So in the video, let's jump into who in the hell is Kevin Warsh. Kevin Warsh was a former Fed governor for 2006 to 2011, directly involved in TARP, First QE, crisis era making decision. Private sector background, he worked with Stan Druckenmiller. And if you don't know who Stan Druckenmiller goes, look him up. One of the best investors of all times. He worked under George Soros. A lot of drama there, you know. And then obviously Scott Bessent, who's our Treasury Secretary, worked with Stan Druckenmiller and George Soros, just so you guys know. You can go look it up, not getting into it. He comes from a billionaire family. I think his wife's married to the Lauderdale family, whatever. But the point is this guy was nominated here. Is he a better pick than Powell? Absolutely. The thing about Powell is, if people can say, oh, he's political and all this, it's just not. I think Powell is over it. Honestly, he's in a really tough, shitty job because he does not like Trump. Trump does not like him, and they just clash no matter what happens. It's a bunch of drama. It's not good for housing. It's not good for rates. It's not good for the economy. Has Jerome Powell has admitted that he was too late? Yes, it's on camera. I don't need to say that. He said that. Do we now look back and say he waited too long to raise rates? I'm in the mortgage business, and the answer is yes. Did he raise rates too much too fast? Yes. Did he take too long to cut rates? Yes. And do I agree with everything and how he looks on data and everything? Absolutely not. Will I agree with how everything Kevin Warsh? Absolutely not. Do I agree with everything that anybody says and any politician? No. Because they're out to get votes. I'm here to talk about what we talk about every day. Is Kenny, what do you think are going to happen in rates? Do you think they're going to go down? What do you think about this new Fed official? Let's get into it. The new Kevin Warsh. Why is maybe the market selling off? Why do people like him, not like him? Look, number one, I think it's better than Powell. Let's just start there. Number two, is he the most hawkish, dovish? Here's the thing. Everybody looked at somebody's past and says, hey, look at who they were before. That's who they're going to be now. I don't necessarily think that's true, because people, as we evolve in life, in this world, with technology, with AI, with the economy, with COVID and all this, we are all dealing with a new normal. As the last video I just shot was about restaurants. And the last video I shot about that for is how the insurance companies are absolutely raping us, how they had record profits, how restaurants are going from a recession to probably a depression. And I'm just telling you guys this. Go talk to, as I tell people, when you go around in your community, do yourself a favor. Quit listening to me in the news. Go talk to small business owners and ask them, how's business? What's the biggest pain? What expenses have gone up? How's it going? Have a normal conversation. You will realize you're going to get the same answers over and over. Then you're going to walk away going, what do you mean? I'm not hearing anybody say their economy's so great or their business is so great. They're struggling. They're barely holding on to employees. They don't know how maybe some are going to make it. They might have to let people go. They might have to completely downsize. They might have to get rid of their office or work from home. Whatever it is, folks, I'm telling you, that's the conversations I have. And why I say this is because everybody wants to say, well, Kevin Warsh was this in the past. Well, guess what? Kevin Warsh has never been Fed chairman. Kevin Warsh, and just like a lot of people, they went through COVID and all this, and we're still dealing with it. We all know we came out of COVID. The government gave all the businesses loans, right? all the business money, all these people money, don't make your payments, do this. Everybody was flush with cash, pay down their credit cards, refinance their house, right? As we know, rents went up, everything went up. It wasn't a problem because you're all flush with money and cash. It was like, yay, party time. And now we're dealing with a hangover. And the hangover seems to keep lingering on. And when I sit here and look at the economy, I'm like, we're going to get a jobs report. The one that we just got this week as I shoot this video looked pretty terrible. What I hear out there from small business is not good. So I know a lot of people think we're not going to cut rates, we shouldn't rate cuts, blah, 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 blah. But what I'm trying to explain to everybody is when I talk to people on the street, real people, not politicians, not economists, not people on the news, not trying to spin a narrative, is that I'm hearing a different narrative. I'm hearing the true fact. I'm hearing that people are struggling. I'm also hearing that people that whether they make money, don't make money, they're not eating out as much. And when they do, they're like, this is ridiculous. It's super expensive. And that's why I brought in the restaurant to show you guys. So Kevin Warsh, we can get into the details and the thoughts and this and that, but here's the deal. Kevin is going to, when he comes in, he'll be faced with dealing with all the leftover shit from COVID, all the expenses, right? Trying to basically figure out how to guide this crazy ass ship of the US economy, the global economy, and how it all works. When he speaks, when he says something, rates can go up, rates can go down, rates can stay flat. So what are we really going to be looking for with Kevin? Number one is, when the hell is he going to give an interview? Maybe he's just not. So I'm going to be looking for with Kevin for guidance. I'm not going to be looking in the past of what he did. Yes, he believes in not doing QE as much, slowing it down. Yes, he believes in shrinking the balance sheet of the Feds. Yes, he might worry more about inflation than jobs. This is all the stuff you're going to hear out there. But guess what, folks? When he's in that Fed chair seat and he has pressure by the Congress, the Senate, the politicians, the American people, the President of the United States, all the other Fed chairmen, it's a little different seat than sitting there going, this is what I would do if I was Fed. But guess what? When you are Fed, when you are president, when you are governor, when you are mayor, when you're a politician, everybody talks a game until they actually get in there and they have to do something. So I think before he gets in, we will have more and more data. We will see in 2026, are things going to get better? I don't know. Are things going to slowly get worse? I don't know. The data is not showing jobs are booming. The data is not showing the consumer's booming. And jobs and consumer, those two things matter. If jobs market starts falling off a cliff slowly, getting there slowly, and we just have more and more people losing jobs, not good. If the consumer is going to continue to slow down, which I'm hearing, that's not good. We could talk about inflation. We're sitting here at between 2 and 3%. Some people say it's 2. Some people say it's 3. Some people say it's 2.5, 2.75. Guess what, folks? It's because how they all look at data. What I'm hoping is that this new Fed official, Kevin, will come in and say, can't we utilize technology to get data and look at it today? Why are we looking at rents that happened a year ago, 2 years ago? Why are we looking at X that happened a year or 2 years ago? Why are we looking at Y that happened? Why don't we look at the data now? We have AI, we have the algorithm, we have the technology to get the data now, look at it and see where the hell are we at today? Right? In February of 2026, not where we're at in February of 2024 or 25, because it doesn't matter because we all live in today. The burrito prices are today, not of yesterday. Your gas bills today, not of yesterday, right? Your insurance, the same freaking thing. So really, what I hope is we can look at data and maybe look at differently. Also, let's talk about the Fed. The Feds can cut rate. The Fed can say, let's go in and buy mortgage-backed securities and do all this stuff. Great. Are they really going to naturally bring down rates? We don't know. Guys, they could cut the interest rates. The bond market doesn't believe in them, doesn't believe their story. And then they could just say, the 10 years not going to go down like it's seen. They cut 100 basis points and the 10 year, Kenny, yeah, exactly, folks. Because if the bond market is a group of people, they're not buying the story. They're not believing this. Maybe they think the cut's political. Maybe they think it's a bunch of BS. That's why when Powell cut, was it real? Was it political? Was he just doing this? Who knows? But guess what? He doesn't have the power just to bring down a 10-year treasury. Sure, they can buy mortgage-backed securities and treasuries and bring them down. They can announce they're going to cut 150 basis points. That could potentially bring it down because it's forward guidance. But what I mentioned before, there's loan level price adjustments that have to deal with pricing your loan, right? There's also ways that I mentioned before on videos of how we can lower interest rates. There's other levers our industry as a mortgage industry can do to bring down interest rates without the Fed. And that's what we should focus on in the mortgage business. And that stuff is being presented to Fannie and Freddie, to the president, and say, hey, can we get this done? Obviously, you just can't flash a light and this things happen. Things have to go. There's policies, procedures, and things like that. So what I'm hoping for is we get an interview from Kevin Warsh. We get some forward guidance on what he thinks. And obviously, he's going to get criticized in his past. What do you see differently today than yesterday? Would you do differently today? Obviously, Trump picked him for a reason. Trump's not going to pick somebody that's going to probably fight with or argue with. Maybe he did. I don't know. I think he's going to pick somebody that can lower rates, that can bring down the cost of borrowing costs and help the economy. It's not just about housing. Small businesses, as I mentioned before, their rates suck. They are getting crushed. If you don't know this, if Target or Walmart want to go out and get $1 billion in a loan, they're going to pay 3 to 4%. But if the guy over here that owns a whatever shop, right, a small business wants to go get a loan, he could be paying anywhere from 8% to 12%, depending on his credit rating, what he does. Yeah, that's the difference, folks, is small businesses are getting crushed. You that pay credit cards are getting crushed. You that buy a car with financing, you're getting crushed. Whatever you have to finance, you're getting crushed. 80% of transactions are done with what? Yes, they're done with some type of credit card, loan, whatever it is. Bring those interest rates down, help. But at the end of the day, we are going to have to focus on affordability, and that's really what the administration is. So what will Kevin do? I think Kevin is going to do what he has to do. Whatever was in the past is now here. He is in. If he gets nominated in, he will be the new Fed chairman. That is a massive role, not just in the US, but internationally. It's one of the most important jobs in the world. And so I'm hoping he'll give us some forward guidance. I'm also hoping he'll talk about how we can look at data and things differently in real time and maybe make better decisions. He's obviously going to go in and try to convince these other Fed officials that we need to bring rates down. Again, when I tell people, when I hear individuals on the Trump side, they're not, whether you believe them, like them, don't like them, like I said, I don't really care if you like them or not. Who cares what I like them? I'm hearing saying we need to cut rates by 100 basis points, 150 basis points, 200 basis points. So when I talk to clients, I said, look, there's levers that we can pull in the mortgage industry. There's levers the Fed can pull. There's levers the White House can do. But all this stuff combined, right? We could bring rates down. Also, if jobs start slowing, rates will come down. If the consumer starts slowing, rates will come down. If inflation starts going down, rates will come down. And everybody will, oh, we don't know if all this can happen. We have to sit here and wait for the data. Just like any Fed president that's Powell or Bernanke or yelling at anybody before, they are still data driven. As much as they can be, you can think like, oh, you can number any of these guys say, oh, they're politically motivated. It's that, sure, fine. But at the end of the day, they have to justify why they did things, and there is data to back it up. So we can sit here and I can have 10 people line up and we can stream and argue about how we look at the data, how you should cut, how you should not cut, and all that stuff. But we can sit here and debate this whole thing about rate cut, not rate cut, whatever it is. So at the end of the day, folks, what I'm telling you is I can sit here and give you arguments to cut rates. I can sit here and give you arguments that rates are going to stay the same. And I can give you arguments that rates could go higher, right? But what I'm telling you, at the end of the day, data is going to matter. They're going to look at the jobs market. They're going to look at inflation. They're going to look at how the consumer's doing. And there's other outlining things. We could have a war. We could have another outbreak. We could have some pandemic, some crazy shit go on, right? We could have a run on the banks. We could have problems with money flowing. So at the end of the day, we can sit here and talk about all the stuff Kevin's going to do, and you can watch all these interviews and all this. I'm going to be listening to what is his forward guidance, what did he think about before and how he thinks he might change now, and also, does he have any hypothetical rate cuts that he might see? Is he talking about 100 basis points, 150 basis points, or he just talking about 50? Also, you're going to hear him get beat up. You know, you're going to have Fed independence from Trump. Honestly, guys, I don't really care about that because let's be honest. You and I know, whether it's a Democrat, whether it's an independent or Republican, all these politicians are all influenced by each other. They're influenced by the corruption. They're influenced by the pharma, the big money, all that. We all know this. They're all bought. It doesn't matter. So what I care about is the data that's going to come out. So, because what I'm seeing is, I'm talking to small business. I'm seeing a consumer continue to slow. I'm seeing a job market continue to slow. I'm also seeing that inflation should hopefully keep coming down, hopefully, right? For all of our sakes. But I can tell you one thing, there are things that are just not going to come down. The minimum wage in California that was $11 before the pandemic that now is getting up to $17, that's not going back to $11, folks, okay? So you are going to pay more for things because labor is more. The cost of insurance, could it come back? Sure. Is it ever going to go back to where it was? No, it won't. What about the rent? No, it won't. What about housing? No, it won't. So certain things we're just going to have to live with. And that's why I would rather have a Fed that says, let's grow the economy, let's drive growth, let's cut rates, let's get things going. What if inflation spikes? Well, folks, guess what? Jerome Powell was in there, was a year late, and then jacked rates up 9%. How did you feel? Whether you like the guy or not, everybody wanted to shoot the guy, okay? Because they were pissed off at him. He was late and went way too high. So at the end of the day, we could all make mistakes, but I think driving rates down, seeing the spurs economy and get things going is what we need. Because you and I, like I mentioned before in the restaurant video, if you watched, the restaurant industry can't just they can't take the steak from $50 to $30. They can't. They're out of business. They're expecting you, the $125 meal that you're paying pre-COVID with a family of four that now is $200, they're expecting you to eventually catch up to be your normal. And you think like, there's never gonna be your normal. So how do they want you to catch up? What is their mindset is the consumer needs to make more money. The consumer needs to be in a thriving economy, right? or you have a great recession or some depression, which resets things and a lot of things change, which is really, really ugly. And if you have that, rates would come dramatically down because that's to stimulate the economy. So either way, folks, it'll be interesting to see. That is my take on Kevin Warsh. I really don't have much to say. I could sit here and go, he's going to do this. He did this in the past. He might focus on this, blah, 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 blah. Yes. Is he going to want to come in and shrink the balance sheet? Sure. Is he want to not come in and do QE? Absolutely. Does he want to go send money to everybody like helicopter money? No, because that's inflation. Does he probably want to bring rates down and stimulate the economy? Hopefully. Is he more of a Dovish and Hawkish? We just don't know until we hear from him. So once I hear from him, we can break down interviews, talk about the forward guidance, and see where rates go. But until then, the data is still going to determine rates. As of right now, rates are pretty flat. We did have some low. We got the pullback from Trump saying they're going to buy $200 billion and other things. If the data continues to come out worse, hopefully that 10-year treasury will come down. And on top of that, hopefully some of these policies that are being talked about in Fannie and Freddie in the White House, that we can pull some of those levers to lower rates. Hopefully that stuff will start rolling out, having some dates, having some timelines, and things like that will happen. But anyways, folks, I appreciate you guys watching, and share this video with somebody. If I can help you out, let me know. And by the way, I forgot to mention the beginning of the video. If we've never met, my name is Kenny Simpson. I focus on 1 to 4 unit financing. That means I help people purchase and refinance. I've been doing it 20 years, helped over 5,000 clients, funded $1 billion of loans. And I make videos like this to help you break down all this crazy nonsense out there and how it affects real estate, interest rates, and things like that around interest rates. So whether you're a first-time home buyer, self-employed, real estate investor, whatever, reach out to us. We're here to help. We're good at what we do. And like I tell people, I can't fix your laptop. I'm not going to build your home. I'm not going to solve, Einstein's math equations. But when it comes to mortgages, we are gurus. We do this all day, every day. And I can help. I would love to help you out. Have a quick conversation. So anyways, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.